I previously have submitted this resolution to our secretary. The resolution I propose to the body today is as follows. Whereas sanctions are an artificial interference in the free market, whereas sanctions have hurt private individuals at a significantly greater rate than they do the government of a ruling party, whereas sanctions have a sketchy at best track record as a tool of war, be it resolved, the Libertarian Party of Michigan officially condemns and requests repeal of all sanctions against Russia imposed by Western governments such as the United States.
So we have a resolution. So Bruce, I will make sure that you are the first person to speak after the resolution has been decided. Anyone want to speak against the resolution? Anybody want to speak for the resolution? Are you speaking against?
I'll speak against, sure.
Okay.
Brandon, Southwest Michigan. I agree that economic sanctions always hurt the little person, but another thing that really hurts the little person is indiscriminate bombing of civilian areas by people's governments. I believe that ending wars as quickly as possible is an objective that is legitimate. We want to avoid human suffering. I believe these economic sanctions are designed to do just that, and that the number of individuals who are being killed on a daily basis in Ukraine is unacceptable, and therefore I support reasonable sanctions to the extent that they are necessary.
We have somebody speaking for the resolution.
Yes.
All right. Go for it, Andrew.
Sanctions are an act of war. They're enforced by violence if not abided. Libertarian Party is against that. This act in question is not targeting the people. So Brandon stated that these are targeted to end these conflicts, but as the original motion makes clear, the sanctions applied aren't directly targeting the government bodies in proportion with the forget that part. So I think that to say that essentially that the ends justify the means is a not strong argument for that, and we should be consistent in being opposed to such actions. So I support the motion.
Anybody like to speak against the motion? Scotty?
Yeah, I speak against this motion for a couple reasons. One of them is that not all sanctions involve restraints on voluntary activity, and some do target the offending party. And as an example of this, and there's probably others, but as an example of this, if the Russian government or its agencies or maybe some of the oligarchs that are effectively the the unseen hand behind the government there have their assets frozen, for instance, those are sanctions by a government against a government, as would be, for instance, some cooperation that has been done by our government with the Russian government. Withdrawing that level of cooperation is a sanction that is not impeding free activities. Secondly, the exclusive mention of Russia, leaving aside all others. It would be different if we had a platform plank that we opposed economic sanctions that that involved restraints on private trade or something like that. That would be different. But it's specifying specifically that we're going to make this exceptional move toward Russia and take away their sanctions, but of course the other ones stay in place.
100% agree.
Somebody like to speak for the motion?
Support. Jordan Martin, West Michigan. Knowingly hurting the little guy, even when you think it's going to hurt the big guy more, is antithetical to libertarian values. That is all.
Like anybody who's speaking against?
I would just like to second his. In the way it's worded, you're basically endorsing sanctions as long as they're not Russia. So I think as worded, it's a flawed argument.
All right. Are we calling the question? Anybody call the question?
Discussions.
Call the question. We'll move to a vote.
No one's seeking you recognized, you can just move to a vote.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Appreciate that. So, moving to a vote. All in favor of this resolution, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Nay. Nay wins. So the resolution fails. All right, and Bruce.